Get this man some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
A Blazers podcast.
Welcome back to Get This Man Some Help. Your weekly dose of Blazers basketball conjecture, speculation, all that stuff. I want to start off, Sean, with a simple question for you.
Okay.
Do you think you could beat Tom Dun one-on-one?
Yes. Yeah. Listen, after the interviews that I've heard, I think he knows nothing about basketball. I don't think he cares about basketball at all. I think he knows the basketball is round and orange, and that's probably the extent of his knowledge in the game.
He's going to do something like, guys, there's an inefficiency here.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we using our feet?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, does the hoop need the net? Can we just not have the nets? Seems like it'd be easier without the nets.
Could save some money.
We could save $7.95 every time we need to do net.
Yeah, but extrapolate that, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, $7.95. Listen, you go through maybe a net every couple of weeks, times the season, you can save dozens of dollars.
Okay.
Efficiency. Mm-hmm.
So the reason I ask is I have a solution for this.
Okay.
Whole Tom Dun problem. Okay.
I think I know where you're going, and I like it.
So right now, the money's tied up. There's a the city of Portland needs to approve some funds. The county needs to jump on all that stuff. What if, as a provision of the money being released to Tom Dun,
Mm-hmm.
he has to participate in a weekly run of pickup basketball?
Sure.
Okay? So he rotates throughout the city of Portland, playing in any kind of regular run that's going.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you're going to play in those runs and you are the cheapskate owner of the Blazers, you're going to hear some really good feedback as you're getting shots knocked in your face and people driving on you real hard and all that stuff. I think it would really be a productive exercise.
Yeah. I think him being out in public with anyone he was not actively employing would probably be good for him.
Just make him walk around.
Just in general, just having a walkabout with people who he was not paying would probably benefit a lot of us.
So there's a few interrelated
if that were to
things.
ever happen, and this is generally not a place to give investment advice.
Yeah.
But if that were ever scheduled, the rotten fruit and vegetable industry.
Oh yeah. Talk about an inefficiency.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All your rotten tomatoes.
So this is like a big shit pizza.
Yeah.
And you can eat it from any direction you want.
Sure, it doesn't matter.
You can do it like my son does, where he goes from the topping down through to the crust.
Okay,
like a burrowing animal. You can do it crust in.
Yeah.
Either way, you're getting to the same point. It's a bad situation.
Yeah,
and you don't feel good after you do it.
It's not great.
So there's so many different directions to go with this. So I'm gonna kind of set the table for you, and then I want you to take out your knife and fork. So
this is gonna get us kicked off of YouTube. Just to warn you.
So just to like set the scene, he just like you predicted, just like you've been hearing, Sean, you called this out, Nostradamus-like actually, that there was going to be even more stuff coming out. He proceeded to lay off 70 people. Yeah. Around the same time, Rich Paul and Max Kleiman had him on their podcast, where they proceeded to gently massage him and apply many lotions and things. In that interview where they kept saying, you should be in the media more, you're such a charming guy, blah, blah, blah. He revealed a lot of discrepancies between the stories that we're hearing and what actually happened, and we don't know. Meanwhile, the coaching search continues to stumble on with Jeff Van Gundy, who hasn't coached, I think, since 2003.
Well, I actually had to look this up. 2007.
Okay. 2007.
He got fired from the Houston Rockets in 2007. Yeah.
And I think he made like $5 million that year.
Yeah. So most of the players on the active roster were born by the time he had his last year. But it's been a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
So all this is happening in conjecture with the NBA playoffs showcasing 3, maybe even 4 very well-run teams. 2 of which are undeniably in a small market.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is, I don't know if you can call Cleveland a premier destination for any sports franchise.
You ever been to Cleveland? With all due respect, a premier destination for anything is a bit of a stretch. I say that with complete self-awareness of my own city. I empathize.
So we are seeing all this unfold under the backdrop of proof that you can do it with limited resources and stuff. So where do you want to start with this?
Well, first of all, even with all of this sort of coaxing and massaging and lotioning that Rich Paul and Max Kellerman gave him, he still came across as the smuggest prick that you could possibly imagine. Oh, I didn't understand not having the two-way players would be that big of a deal. I mean, my thought was we're not on vacation here, am I right? Portland doesn't have to worry about moving the team as long as I get exactly what I want when I want it. I just, like, everything. I think I texted you every word. The words he used, the way he said the words, the way his mouth moved to form the words. Just absolutely. He's just the worst fucking type of guy. Just the worst type of just smug, callous, unempathetic billionaire guy. And these people are just killing the world. Like, just leave our team alone. You've got the rest of the world. Like a fucking subprime car loan guy behaving exactly like you would expect a subprime car loan guy to operate like. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just the worst. And and at least, there was a little bit of honesty. He was basically like, yeah, I'm in it. I don't know anything about basketball. I'm in it for the money. I did the same thing with this hockey team. And look, we're working. So, whatever. Whatever.
He said something. He said basically, I'm not in it. I'm in it to win.
Yeah, sure.
But if I'm not winning, basically the implication was I better be making money on this.
Yeah,
or it better,
pretty much.
And it felt like he went to his team and he was like, "Hey guys, come up with some stories, some little cute anecdotes that can reframe, the Bill Simmons, annotation, entitled. How do you say this? When they do the sword, anoint,
sure.
With the name El Cheapo. How can we combat this?" And they said, "Okay, you know what? What if you talked about how you like to print on both sides of the paper?
Yeah.
What if we talk about how you give the front office the keys to the car?
Yeah.
What about if we take this delightful story of your son accepting an $800 voucher to take a later flight?" And Tom's like, "That sounds great. No notes. Let's go."
My other billionaire friends, the inside joke is how frugal I am. Ha ha ha, in my personal life. So, that's just how I'm built. Ha ha ha.
Do you know what the most disgusting part of that whole thing was for me?
What's that?
At one point, he's like, "I'm not giving my kids my money. When I die, I'm going to give it away." And then Max Kellerman goes, "You're not really going to give it away. Ha ha ha." And Tom's like, "Oh, this is a permission structure to actually be honest. Maybe being a greedy bastard is okay."
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Sure. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You got me.
I'm going to bury it with me like a pharaoh. Yeah, the thing about it is, and we've talked about this, and I do, the sort of writing is on the wall that this is a sort of experiment for the NBA, and sort of a lot of the people in the sort of sports sphere now have been itching to get this sort of let's make more money, let's bleed the rock, you know what I mean, and let's turn this into just a money making scheme. And respectfully for Rich Paul, he's that kind of guy too, you know what I mean? So I think the league and all the owners and all the sort of people who have some decision making and some power in this whole sort of infrastructure are hoping this guy succeeds, right? Just to sort of like, let's be as greedy as humanly fucking possible. And let's just bleed every dollar we can out of this thing, and let's make it work. Because if he ends up being even moderately successful, this is the new model for a lot of these franchises. And you can, like I said, you can just kind of tell by the way things are shifting that a lot of the current owners of teams would love to be in a place where they could just fire 70 people who they think are pretty much, why can't Google AI do our scouting for us? You've seen the commercials. It's teaching everybody about basketball. Why can't it do the scouting?
Yeah.
You
And I
know?
think like a little bit of you peel back the curtain a little bit on this, and guess what? Rich Paul is an agent in this league whose clients are employed by Tom Dundon. So it makes you wonder what's going on here, because you don't go to a guy you're hoping to sell somebody to and
Right.
tell him that his shit stinks. You're like, hey man, you're great.
Right. Well, also Rich Paul sort of very nakedly has higher aspirations. You know what I mean? He's a guy who wants to get into ownership someday.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. And you know, whatever. I mean, that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. But yeah, just the whole like, you know, you've got this guy who's clearly just a dickhead, and you got these two kind of grinning hyenas being like, buddy, oh, you're so cool. Ah.
I mean, Rich Paul represents young Hansen.
Yeah.
Like, and he might even represent more people on the Blazers. I don't know, but like,
does, yeah.
like there is like a blatant situation here where it's like, I mean, to talk about conflict of interest on a podcast is like, it's like very rich. You know, there's no standards here. We understand it's entertainment, but just the fact that they're like, you're great, actually. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to the haters. But meanwhile, can I get an extension for my beard?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So the whole thing felt super off-putting. Meanwhile, there's 70 people here who lost their jobs. Some of them have been with the organization for many, many years. And, you know, this is all in service of a guy who's like talking about, you know, you got to cut corners where you can, you save money here and there, blah, blah, blah. And it strikes me as like, you're in the wrong sport. Like the NBA has a profit sharing model. Like in 2025, only 2 teams lost money. Like it's very hard to like actually lose money in this situation. Like you should be, this is a relational business. Like it's supposed to be fun. It's not like a supermarket chain that you squeeze for another like cent or two. It's supposed to be like a beating heart of a community, and you're taking that away.
Well, while trying to extort the community, like again, this enshittification. We're going to make the product worse.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We're gonna just make it just good enough that you'll keep paying for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we'll take away all this other stuff, and at the same time, we're going to try to bilk you as hard as we can for the pleasure of having this distressed product that we're sort of chopping into pieces and selling others. I understand everyone has got to make money, and I understand, like, well, he's the one that can afford to buy the team, so what, you know, he must be doing something right. Okay, whatever. Like, sometimes it's okay just to have cool shit.
Yeah.
You know, I would love it if we moved towards a model. Sometimes it's just good to have cool shit for the sake of having cool shit. And, you know, I work with a lot of small business owners who are still of that mind frame, knowing they'll probably never become the fucking Walmart family. They'll probably never make as much money as it takes to buy an NBA team, but they're just happy just kind of doing cool shit. And you know what? Maybe you could fire 3 people and have the rest kind of absorb their job duties, but that means you got to fire 3 people who kind of need the job to live and stuff, you know? It's like okay. It's okay to have a little redundancy. It's okay.
There's like a few, like, to go back to the Thunder as like a model franchise. Like there was this interview, I think it was with Hartenstein, where they talk about, in the beginning of the interview, he notices there's a towel on the floor, and he's like, by the time we get done talking, that towel's gonna be picked up and put away, because that's like the ethos of this organization, because we've installed so much pride, you know, top to bottom of these. And sure enough, by the time the interview's over, the towel's folded and put it away, and nobody said anything. That just happened,
right?
And meanwhile, we have the Blazers like just hacking through the grass and wondering like, why is there not a lot of grass around left? So like one example of this is Tina Thompson. And you pointed out to me over text, like she's very close with Damian Lillard. And I looked into this, and not only is she very close with Damian Lillard, who is the general manager, I guess, of Weber State. I don't know. He basically helped get a commitment from Thompson's son, Dylan Thompson, to come play for Weber State. So now Lillard is going to say, oh, you know, oh, hey, Tina, like, you know, like, how does he feel about this? Like, this is a relational business. Like, you need people to want to come to your organization. And this environment that he's sort of seeing over and overloaded, it's not healthy to that. Yeah. And like the one thing that like really irked me, well, so many things irked me. Now, one of the many things that irked me.
One of the many, sure.
Was there's 2 things. First, he was like, yeah, you know, I didn't know about T-shirts. I didn't think T-shirts would be a big deal. And, you know, and we always wave towels and da-da-da. So I just said, do towels. And then I had no idea that T-shirts took so long to make before the next game. And it's like, you claim to be good at business. Like, you should know that, number one. Like, yeah, you should know that. Number 2, like, nobody was going to be excited about freaking towels. Like, even at a hockey game, I guarantee those guys wish they had shirts.
Yeah.
The second thing is he goes, well, I didn't know about the team, traveling with the two-way guys, because in hockey we don't do that. We stay focused, but now I know, which directly contradicts what Joe Cronin said in his exit interviews, which leads me to believe what we had said in this podcast before. Joe is scared. He is scared shitless. He doesn't know what to do. He's taking bullets that aren't even there. And that is not a healthy environment.
Well, I think part of the thing when you have a sort of corporate entity that runs like this, you're going to get people who are going to work just hard enough not to get fired, or people who don't have anywhere else to go. Right. You know what I mean? Like, this is the end of the road motors here, where you want to go get a job at the car dealership, and the guy asks you, what do you have going on in your life? And you say nothing, and he goes, perfect, you're hired. if I'm the last stop you got, you're going to do whatever I need you to do. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where Joe is. Like, Joe is not a highly sought after, GM. He's not going to find this job probably at any of the other major franchise or the organizations in the NBA. And so, he needs to hold on to his job. And that means just sort of opening his mouth and getting shit shoveled in it and saying, thank you, sir, can I have another? And he's the exact kind of guy that a guy like Tom Dundon wants. You know what I mean? A guy who will just do whatever I want, unquestioning, just cover my ass. And, I'm not going to listen to you, but you're going to clean up my messes for me. And it's kind of like we talked about. Look, I'm not mad at the idea of Jeff Van Gundy being the coach of the Blazers, because I do think he carries enough gravitas that he can kind of like, theoretically kind of make his own way. But I am at this situation now where, like, anyone who coaches the Blazers, I am going to lose a little bit of respect for him. Like, why are you working for this guy is terrible? Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like
I wouldn't be a part of the club of any club that would have me.
This is very much like the last 30 seconds of that Clayton Bigsby skit from the Chappelle Show. You guys can Google that if you're not familiar. But it very much is like that for me. Like, anyone who wants to have anything to do with this franchise is probably kind of shitty at this point. And I hate saying that. And, I saw that Thiago is still a finalist for the job. And I'm just like, dude, please go to Chicago. Please. I guess. Don't sully yourself any further. Don't, tell Joe, see you later.
The frustrating thing is, like, we suffered through Neil O'Shea. We've suffered through bad coaches. Those things change. Ownership, it could take, we could be 90 years old.
The thing about Paul Allen is there's this thing that happens when you're the sort of richest guy in the room and you think you're the smartest guy in the room. Is you become like kind of the biggest mark. Yeah. So you're very susceptible to sort of like flattery and people, like Neil O'Shea had a great relationship with Paul Allen. You know what I mean? And was allowed to make some really bad decisions, but had Paul Allen's because Paul Allen liked him. You know what I mean? Because he was kind of an isolated, nerdy guy, but Paul Allen loved basketball and he loved the team. Yeah. And so whatever problems Portland had, it wasn't because Paul Allen was not willing to spend the money or didn't care about the team. Right. You know what I mean? And so you hire people who are not, you probably shouldn't have the jobs that they have. Okay, whatever, But at the top, you still had confidence that whatever happens, he still loves the team. Yeah. This guy does not give a shit about any of it. He does not give a damn about any of it. He wants to be able to walk around and says he's the owner of a championship franchise. And by his own account, if that is not the case, then he's going to make a buck on it. And that's the end of that. Yeah.
So moving on
We're
a little
Portland
bit.
Fire podcast now, goddammit.
2-3. A surprising 2-3.
Hey.
And you got to love the cadence of the game a little. Like, it's like, hey, we're not going to have 8 games in 10 days. It's going to be, every game's going to mean a little bit more.
We're going to spread it out. Yeah.
And we're going to play the same team a few times in a row. And we're going to get to know these players. It's nice.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to Tina Thompson. If you're unfamiliar with Tina Thompson's resume, take a few minutes and look it up. She is just widely accepted as one of the great basketball people.
Hall of Famer,
I've said this for a long time. A lot of these, the sort of former WNBA players who are now involved in like front offices and coaching, if you look at their resumes versus and basically just to say if they were men, they would be the head coach of a team right now. You know what I mean? Sure. So the fact that she's like not even the lead scout, she's a scout for the Portland Trail Blazers with her resume, with all the goodwill that she's built. I mean, but luckily for her, Houston The Houston Comets are coming back next year in the WNBA. She is a legend in Houston. She's going to be fine. My heart still aches for the other 69 people who maybe don't have her resume and connections, who are now looking for work. Casey Holdall, for God's sake. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Shout out Casey. Okay, so they have apparently the timeline is that they're going to meet with candidates this weekend for the job. We talked about Van Gundy being a finalist. Jerry Stackhouse is a finalist.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Boston assistant, Tyler Lashbrook, who I don't know much about. Mike Williams, I don't know much about. But it seems like they are casting a very wide net, and they're going to interview people this weekend. And we might have some clarity, which is good. That's a good thing for us. I don't know. The whole thing, it sucks because, like I said before, that contrast between the teams that are still in it.
Yeah.
And you're watching absolute legendary basketball.
It's been so good, man.
It's been so good.
It's been so good.
Okay, so just talking about that. So I had this whole thing that I was going to go with you where I was like, Victor Wembanyama is AI, and we need to all band together to defeat this one monster. Because after that first game, I was like, I don't know what you do. But then in the second game, Isaiah Hartenstein said, well, what you do is you take a 2x4.
Yeah.
And you come into the game with a 2x4 and you start knocking him around. But this guy does things that would be amazing in a game of basement Nerf ball.
Yeah.
Like he does these little runners. He did this and it's not like a fluke. It happened like 4 times in the last
I think
game.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The little runner, it bounces off. And he's just there for the rebound. He one hand
with opposite hand. Yeah, like he goes up with the right hand floater, and it comes off, and he grabs it with the opposite hand, and is able to do the tip in. Sometimes a tip in dunk, which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because you like when he was drafted. Yeah, you're like, oh, he's going to be a problem. You know, like but I think that his ascension has happened so much faster than anyone saw. And I do think you're kind of right that it is now, it's almost like Thanos from the Marvel movies. Like the entire league is trying to devise a strategy of how to stop this guy. I was reading an article that was actually very interesting. It said it actually puts the impetus on Giannis coming to the Western Conference. Like Western Conference teams are going to be that much more active for Giannis because it may be he's one of those guys that can at least kind of contain whatever the final Wemby form looks like. You know, I guess Anthony Davis is now attracting a lot of attention with the thought that, you know, for the 14 games a year he's healthy, he may be able to.
Spoiler alert, no.
No, I don't. I just, it's going to be one of those things that if Wemby is hitting, you're just, there was a Vassell or Stephen Castle said, you know, you're all in a lot of trouble for the next 10 years. And he's not lying, man. The league is in a lot of trouble.
You can't
league. I have not seen the panic affect the entire league like this. Like not even LeBron, there wasn't that fearfulness.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like teams are shaking. Like he is so good. He has ascended so quickly. And I'm not exaggerating. He is literally going to be the reason for like wholesale roster changes on some teams. Like how we thought we were a playoff team, but now we know like we have to build our team.
But now we have
stop Wemby. And that is crazy.
Well, so the game of basketball is fun to play and fun to watch because you can't stop everything. There's always a glitch somewhere. So there's always like these moves and counter moves and da-da-da. Wemby ends that because there is no thing that you can take away that will stop him from being effective. Even if you're bullying him down low, he has a perimeter game.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to pass.
No.
He's even if he's not doing anything on the offensive. You watch these guys go into the lane and they start to get like the watery shits. They can't do anything. They're like, oh, get out of here.
No, I was watching the Minnesota series. And there was a game, or I was trying to count, and him being in the game altered a couple dozen shots that would have been, shots that would have been this type of shot, and him just being there, you could see the calculus, the ball handler being, well, not, I can't do that now. Like, I'm gonna have to kick you know what I mean? The fact that just having him, like, San Antonio could even, I mean, they could start running like a 4-1 zone. You know what I mean? They can send two guys to trap whoever the ball handler is and be completely confident that if the ball gets past them, they're still in pretty good shape, because Wemby is just, he covers so much ground so quickly. I weirdly enough, I think that the secret, and I do, like I said, I do think that we are in for a fundamental shift where defenders start getting a lot more physical. Because the guy, I think, who had the best understanding of how to stop Wemby, even though he physically couldn't do it, was David Caruso. And
Alex
Caruso. David Caruso's the glasses guy from the detective show. Yeah, Alex Caruso, completely different guy. But I think, like, if you, like, I wish I could put together footage from that film just to show any player on the high school level how to guard someone bigger than you, because he was doing everything he could perfectly. Right. Just not letting him, just trying to be a speed bump, basically. Just not letting him get to where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And again, even though I think Caruso did it perfectly, the physical advantage is just still, the deficit of size and ability is so much that you're never going to completely stop him. But yeah, I think that, like, to guard him, the strategy is going to be, you're just going to have to like literally throw waves of guys at him to just beat the shit out of him and do everything you can to just sort of keep him at the free throw line and just beat him up.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, you're going to see defenses that are going to look a lot more like 90s era NBA, where guys are just going to start beating like the same treatment Michael Jordan or Allen Iverson got back in their primes. We're just going to have to beat you up because you're just too good.
Yeah, I think the final evolution of this is sort of what happened with Steph, where he's still going to beat you. But in the beginning, when Steph was doing all that crazy stuff, there was an amount of overreaction and fear, and you didn't want to be embarrassed and the whole thing.
Right.
And he used that to his advantage with Draymond doing these excellent, like, little pocket passes back and forth stuff. And I think what you're going to find with the Wemby experience is you're going to get blocked, you're going to get denied, you're going to get all that stuff. Yeah. But they're going to start to kind of come on to the fact that it's not embarrassing. It's just going to happen. He's that great. Yeah. And you just got to try to make him tired and keep going at him.
That OKC has been doing is they are just going right at him. Yeah. Like they're not trying to dance around him. Like, they're trying to, get their spacing, and they're trying to, the offense they're running, they are able to sort of swing the ball around fast enough that the guy in the corner is generally going to get a pretty good shot. You know what I mean? So if they're hitting threes, they're going to stay in it. But like Shea is like, he's gone back to just doing Shea stuff. If Wemby's there, then he's there, whatever. You know what I mean? But
you have to.
Yeah, I'm like, we're like the surprise factor, the fear factor's there. The surprise factor has gone a little bit, I think. But let me tell you something, man. That play where Wemby came down the court and pulled the Dame Lillard from the logo 3-point shot. And you could just see on everyone's faces, like like the Oklahoma City bench was just like, oh no. It's the whole state. Oh no.
Yeah. And that being said, I mean, Oklahoma City was right there in game one. They ended up winning game two. One of the most delightful things was Hartenstein's little teardrop floater thing.
Yeah.
His little shovel shot.
Yeah.
And that's like specifically effective against Wemby.
Yeah.
And he had to go really high. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting, because a lot of guys are going to go into the lab this summer. And they're going to be,
you're going to get this. A lot of floaters, a lot of, You're going to start seeing guys, much like the 3-point line, or the 3-point shot has moved back. I think you're going to start seeing floaters from, 18.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll get you out of here on this Memorial Day weekend. I got to go pack the car. Jared McCain. The Thunder getting Jared McCain for basically nothing.
David Stern would never have allowed that, by the way. That is one of those things that David Stern would have been like, no, stop
like,
it. Stop
I think like what we thought we were going to get with Vit is sort of what they got with Jared.
Yes.
And it just leads me to wonder, like, if I'm Joe Cronin and I see a lottery pick kind of fall out of favor, why aren't I getting into the talks and trying to make something like this happen? I mean, we've lamented in the past about the Blazers just not being aggressive or active or whatever. But I think like when you're a small market team like us or like the Thunder, when you can sort of improve on the margins for not much capital in return, you're seeing how helpful that is. And Jared McCain is a legit player who, by the way, culturally would be a perfect fit in Portland.
Man. Yeah. It's it does kind of, well, luckily the good news is we have this sort of scouting genius as our assistant GM who can do things like find Tamani Kamara for a couple of bags of Cheetos, or you know what I mean? Just
wait.
Oh no, we don't have that guy anymore, do we?
Mikey.
Oh no.
Come back.
Yeah. But I listen, it just, it was one of those things where you saw that when the trade first happened, I was like, of course. Because Jared McCain was, if he hadn't gotten hurt, he might have been the rookie of the year that year, or at least been in the conversation. Like, he was having a hell of a season. Then he got hurt, and Philadelphia is a tire fire. And I think that's part of the thing, is the Oklahoma City guys have been around the league long enough to know not just the talent of the players, but how we can finesse, like which GMs around the league we can finesse. You know what I mean? Like, if you compliment Daryl Morey's new Blazer, he's probably going to be that much more willing to part with his all-rookie team guard that is now just going to be our kind of like vibe guy. Jared McCain would be a starter on half the teams in the league.
I know.
And he's the vibe guy.
Can you just imagine him in Portland? He's painting his fingernails. He's singing at some song, singing some local songs, and I mean,
going out there shooting it. He's shooting like 44% from three during the playoffs.
I mean, it's not like people get open looks when they have Denny drawing like 18 people in the.
No.
All right, Sean.
Man.
Well, maybe next week we'll bring better tidings. Yes, Portland Fire. I need to watch more. I need to get into it.
It's good.
Yeah. Is it on local? Is it 12.2 or something?
Yeah, the TV schedules are just all. I was watching. There was only the USA Network was the last game. I think.
Yeah. And I'll figure it out. All right. Thanks as always to Puma Distortion. Thanks to Sean for making time.
Get this man some help.
We'll see you next week.
Stop it. Get some help.
A Blazers podcast.